The average property in the GTA was up 27.7% year over year from last February. Want to know what the market's doing in your area? Stay tuned to the end of this video because we're going to get into that right now.
I love it when it feels like this.
So my name's Tom, I'm a realtor with eXp Realty here in the Greater Toronto Area. If you'd like to talk about these market stats, anything real estate related, feel free to book a call with me, gettom.ca, or click the link down below and you can book a call with me. That'll take you right to my calendar. Now let's get into the market stats. So I'm gonna hop over onto my computer in 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, so let's take a look at the market stats for February 2022. So this presentation that I'm doing with this nice title page here, I usually post these to Instagram, so be sure to follow me on Instagram so you can get these first, because I do post them there first before making these videos. And this is my first market update video, so it's gonna be an interesting kind of few months of really playing with this and figuring out the best formula for these videos. I do think I kind of planned out something perfect today, so bear with me here. First, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the Greater Toronto Area. I'm gonna copy and paste that part of the video into 2 other videos. I'm gonna do my 3 market areas. So Toronto, York region, and Durham region. First part of each video is gonna be basically the same stuff throughout all of them. So if you're interested in Toronto and you're on the York video right now, head over to the Toronto one, or just click the link down below. You'll find all that information. So you'll kind of see what I mean, but that's how I plan on doing these videos for the time being. I think it's just nice and easy. So you'll see, yeah, basically we're gonna go over the basics of the GTA right now. If you're watching this one and it's the Toronto version and you want the Durham or York one, just go down below for the links to those, and you'll be sure to get all the information on those 2 markets as well. So yeah, let's get right into things. So obviously market's still very, very hot because it's up 27.7% year over year, bringing us to a total of 1,334,000 for the average property in the GTA, while last February they were basically 1,044,000. So $290,000 of appreciation year over year for that 27.7% pump, which is just absolutely insane when you think about the fact that like 10, 15 years ago, you could still get a property in the GTA for, you know, 290,000. So it's insane. Year over year, total number of sales are down 16.8% over the year, but inventory is low as well. So that kind of adds to that lowering of the total number of sales. A difference of 2,000 in sales, sure, it's a lot, but it's not the biggest deal. Obviously, 9,000 sales for February, still pretty good. Seasonally adjusted, there were more sales in February than in January, basically up 5%, and the price rose 1.3% month over month as well. So now let's take a look at some more data. So you got total new listings year over year for the entire Greater Toronto Area, down 6.6%. So obviously that kind of does add to that minus 16% we saw in the total number of sales. Sales to new listing ratio down 8% as well. So basically there's 64% of sales to new listings, where last year there was 72. So here's where we kind of see that the buyer demand is still there. And until they announced the interest rate hike, February was a pretty wild month. So was January. Definitely 2 crazy months for real estate, and especially when you're talking about the fact that winter markets are usually a little more chilled because people don't really want to be moving in the middle of the winter in Canada. I know I have a client who just moved on like the 12th of December, and I just saw him today, and he was telling me like, hey, you know, yeah, it was a pain in the ass to kind of move, but it is what it is. So yeah, property days on market. So basically a property is sitting on the market for 11 days, down 42% from 19 in February of last year. And then listing days on market, you have 14 versus 9 last year. So the reason why the listing days on market are actually lower than the property days on market, basically the listing days on market means if a property's listed, how long it's actually on the market from the time that listing was like whether updated or originally listed, where property days on market, if you have a price change or a property comes off the market and goes back on it, that's why that number is a little longer. So that's something that always confuses people, and I have to explain it to them when they ask me about this. On my Instagram posts of these statistics, by the way, be sure to follow me on Instagram because I do post these there first. So now let's take a look at the average price by property. So in the 416, you have detached up to $2,073,000, up 23% from last year. And in the 905, the average detached property is going to run you about $1,727,000, which is up an insane amount from last year at 32.9%. So just insane growth in the detached market in the 905 for sure. Semi-detached, even hotter, although these statistics can be a little skewed because I'll tell you one thing, there's a lot less inventory of semis in the 905 area. So way less sales data to actually drive that growth from. But they are going for about $1,282,000 in the 905 and basically $1.5 million if you're talking about a 416 property, which is up 14%. And just insane what those semis did in the 905 from last February. Townhouses. Now, this is another one that everybody seems to want a 905 townhouse. 416 one's pretty hot as well. I mean, people are kind of starting to get used to the work from home and want more space, so it makes sense why people would also look for townhomes within the city. So townhouse in the 416 going to run you about $1,031,000. Where in the 905 is going to run you basically about $1,119,000. So when we're looking at the difference between the detached and the semis, in the townhomes, there's a big difference in price. Like where you have the detached in 416 is basically $300,000 more than in the 905, where you're looking at like $10,000 more for a townhome in the 905. So that kind of tells me townhouses in the 905 either probably not the best buy right now, or it's the time to be buying a townhome in the 416 in Toronto because those obviously have a lot of room to grow. So it's either one of two things. Townhouses in the 416, extremely undervalued right now, or townhomes in the 905, extremely overvalued right now. So it's either one of those two, maybe a combination of both. Who really knows? The entire market is just insane. I feel for people who are, first-time buyers and all that. It is so tough out there. So you got a condo in the 416, basically $822,000, up 21.5% from February of 2021. Then in the 905, you got $756,000. Again, 905 condos are just going crazy too, up 34.2% from February of last year. Where I see the real value right now is probably going to be in the 416 rather than going to the outskirts. And I think as we kind of move from work to home and get back to the office, you're going to see a lot of these people who are realizing, oh, I don't want to be commuting from Oshawa every day to downtown Toronto. They're going to list their 905 property and move their way back to the 416. It's already happening. So now we're going to just basically take a quick overview of the condo apartment data for the entire GTA. And this isn't just a month thing. This is Q4 of 2020 versus Q4 of 2021. So year over year, quarter over quarter, number of sales basically increased up 20.9% to $7,815 from $6,400 basically last Q4 in 2020. So the condo market, I think, is definitely heating up a little more like I said, the people want to get back into the city, and that's definitely driving up the prices of these condos. So you got the average selling price up 16.4%. We're not seeing anything crazy like those 30% numbers in the detached and the townhomes. So still room to run on these. I think if you ask me where the best value is right now on this current market, I personally think Calgary because Toronto's insane. But if we're talking about the GTA, I think at the moment there's probably more value downtown and in Toronto rather than in the 905. So yeah, obviously the average selling price up 16% on the condos. Then we have total new listings at 8,758, which was down 28.8% from quarter four of 2020. So obviously there's way less inventory in the condo market now than there was a year ago. And like I said, everything kind of makes sense because, coronavirus kind of ending and everybody getting away from the work from home thing. It's making sense that people want to get back into the condos and out of the burbs. So sales to new listings ratio, basically 89% of all new listings were selling in quarter four of 21, where only 53% were selling in 2020. So up 36%. Obviously, that means it's a strong condo market at the moment. And days on market also went down by 30.8%. Basically to 18 from 26 last year. So now for the landlords, for the tenants, a quick overview of the condo rental stats. And the reason why I included this, I don't really talk too much about rental stats, but I wanted to include this because it does show you that there is demand for the condos, whether it's on the rental side or on the buying side. You can see a lot of this return to the city. So total rentals were down 13.9% in available inventory, or total rented units, average one-bedroom rental basically up to $2,100 from $1,800 something, so 13.8% increase year over year. And then total new listings, this one's a shocker, almost 50% down to 17,000 listings from about 32,000 in quarter four 2020. So it's insane, a lot of demand. So now let's just go back to these average price numbers. So obviously we have the average price of the G.T.A, which we went over earlier, $1,334,000. Then in Toronto, you're looking at $1,210,000. In the Halton region, you're at $1,530,000. Basically, the reason there is, these other regions where the numbers seem higher, it's because Toronto, Peel, they have a little bit more condos. Whereas, something like Halton, it's a lot more towns and detached. So obviously the average price is going to go up. In Halton, the average price is $1,530,000. In Peel, you're at $1,317,000. York region, absolutely on fire. Vaughan, Richmond Hill, Markham, this is where people want to move. So York region on fire, $1,587,000. Then in the Durham region, this is where I think the best value is, other than the other than the condos and like some of these Toronto properties. Durham region still does have a lot of value finds, I would say, especially when we're talking about like Pickering or maybe even Ajax. Further away you get from those two cities, maybe not as much value, but still some value there nonetheless. Definitely easier to find a property in like a place like Clarington than going on the west side and trying to look in Burlington or something, which I'm not too sure if I'm doing the math right, but I think they're about the same distance away from Toronto, east versus west. I'll have to look that up at some point because that's something I want to know personally. Then we got Dufferin County, which is basically like Orangeville, $1,049,000. Then you have Simcoe County at $1,232,000. So those are the average prices across the GTA. And in February, 9,097 homes traded, with obviously that average price of 1.34 mil. And the total sales volume was over $12 billion. So huge amount of properties trading hands in the GTA and huge dollar volume there as well. So I'm going to take a minute just to stop here, let you know that if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, pre-construction, luxury, any of these type of properties, happy to help you. You can book a call with me. GetTom.ca is the place to go. You can book that. We can schedule a talk and we can talk about your real estate goals, needs, wants, and all of that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the specific market stats for my three market areas. So there's Durham, York, and Toronto. If you're on one of the videos and you want to flip to the other one, like let's say you want to know the Durham stuff but not the Toronto stuff, then click the links down below. There will be links to all three of those videos just to kind of split things out. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm still working on kind of building the proper formula for these market stat videos, but I do want to cover my three areas, and I feel that I'm better served by doing them and you in three separate videos, because that way I can play with the titles. I can get Durham region market stats, York region market stats, Toronto market stats, rather than just trying to bundle them all in. So hopefully it makes it easier for you guys to find as well. If you enjoy this kind of content, subscribe, like, comment down below, because I'd be happy to have you as part of my community here on YouTube. You can follow me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I'm basically all over the web. So now, let's get into the average price of the GTA as well. Basically by property type. So in the entire GTA, average detached going to run you about $1,797,000. In Toronto, a little more pricey at $2,073,000. Then in Halton region, you're looking at $1,720,000. In Peel, you're looking at $152,303. In York region, you're looking at $1,992,000. In the Durham region, $1,379,000. So, like I said, I see a lot of value in the Durham region when you're comparing these things, especially, a lot of people want to move to cities like Markham or Vaughan or Richmond Hill because they border Toronto. Well, Pickering borders onto Toronto as well, and you put a 1-to-1 detached in Pickering versus Vaughan or Markham. Obviously, those areas are a little different, more built up, more populous, stuff like that. But the Pickering one's always going to come in undervalued, even though geographically they're kind of the same distance to downtown, maybe even closer depending what part of like Markham or Richmond Hill or Vaughan we're talking about, and especially with traffic. Plus in Pickering, you got Lake Ontario access. So I think that's the most undervalued city. Always going to be my opinion until the market really changes and Pickering gets a fair valuation. So what I'm going to do is up above, I'm going to link the video I did talking about why I feel Pickering is so undervalued. And then, in the Dufferin County, you got $1,163,000 for the average detached and $1,325,000 in Simcoe County. Semis. So the average semi in the GTA, $1,358,000. In Toronto, $1,499,000. Halton, you're at $1,324,000. $1,282,000 in Peel region. Then in the York region, you're at $1,410,000. $1,074,000 in Durham. Dufferin, you're at $868,000, and in Simcoe, you're at $978,000. Obviously, those two places are quite a ways away from the downtown core of Toronto. So the further away you go from the city, obviously price gets cheaper. I think it's just, number one adage of real estate is location, location, location. So let's go into the townhomes. Again, townhomes were on fire in like the 905 region. So these are going to be kind of pricey. So across the entire GTA, you're looking at $1,254,000. I never thought in my life that when we're talking about $1 million property in the GTA, we're talking about a townhome, but here we are. And soon we're going to be talking about condos, even though we kind of already are, but most condos will be $1 million home in the GTA. Insane to think about. So Toronto, you got a very fitting $1,416,044. Nice 416 homage there in the number, kind of cool. Just something I noticed. I don't know. I'm kind of weird like that, I guess. But anyway, Halton region, you're at $1,271,000. Peel region, you're at $1,197,000. $1,380 in the York region. In Durham, again, one of my favorite, most undervalued markets, $1,078,000. Although I still think that these numbers are a little high personally. Again, I never thought I would see a townhome selling for $1 million. Not in Oshawa, not in my life, but here we are. Dufferin County, we're looking at $1,018,000 and $950,000 in Simcoe. So now let's take a look at condos, towns. Entire GTA, $963,000. 976 in Toronto, 966 in Halton, Peel 978, York 1,022,000. So it's crazy to think that a condo town is more expensive in York region than Toronto. So kind of just going back to the point where I still feel there's a little bit more value now in Toronto versus the like 905 areas. So Durham region, again, my favorite undervalued market. Look at that price coming in way under the rest of the GTA at 845. Then Dufferin, you have 719, and Simcoe County, no data available because there wasn't any condo town sales there. And that's the kind of product that's not as common out in like Simcoe and Dufferin. You know, these are more rare products. So condo apartments in the entire GTA, 799 in Toronto, 822. 811,000 in Halton, 728 in Peel. Then in the York region, you got 795,000. In Durham at 658,000. Dufferin is 623,000. And Simcoe County was 698,000. So again, I really feel that Durham's where there's value. So let's go into my specific market areas. Kind of just going back to what I was saying before, is I'm doing this in 3 separate videos where the first part of each video is basically going to be all the statistics we just went over. And then right here, I'm going to split it. I'm going to do Toronto, Durham, and York. So if you're on Toronto, but you want to see the York region video, go down below, check that one out, and we'll go over all the stats. If you want to watch all 3 of them, I would encourage and appreciate you to do that. However, don't watch the first part of each video 3 times because it's going to be all the same information. So just skip to the middle part where the specific my market areas starts. I'll have it all tagged nicely for you. So again, these market update videos is something I'm going to be pushing very heavily on this channel this year, just to kind of keep you guys updated of what's going on in the market. So just trying to figure out the best formula, but let's get into it now. All right, so let's get into my market areas and let's go to Toronto West first. All property types, 769 sales, a lot of trading happening in Toronto as always. Average price of $1,109,000. For a detached, you're talking about $1,699,000 with 206 of them trading hands. On the semi side, you had 85 sales with an average price of $1,363,000. 30 townhomes sold, average price of $1,287,000. Average condo town was $905,000, and 76 of those sold. And then obviously it's Toronto, so a lot of condos trade hands, and we had 370 sales with an average price of $751,000 on the west side of Toronto. Now let's come to my favorite side of Toronto, the East End. Let's talk about all of the pricing. Average price, we're looking at $122,000 for the average price. 762 of them sold. 317 of that was detached with a price of $1,588,000 for the average detached in Toronto East. Average semi was about $1,408,000 with 100 sales. Then townhome, you're looking at $1,258,000, 49 of those sold. And then condo towns, $901,000. 68 sales, and then condos, again, Toronto condos are always very hot, so $708,000 for the average condo on the east end of Toronto with 222 of them trading hands. All right, and now let's finish up the Toronto market update with Central, the place on like the center of the universe of Canada. You know, everything in Canada revolves around this place. So let's talk about it. Toronto Central, $1,251,000 for the average price. You had 1,709 sales over the month of February. Detached, obviously very pricey in this part. This part of Toronto is pricey for, you know, the detached, the semis, and the townhomes. Obviously, it's the east and the west side that kind of bring that average price down. So let's talk about the average detached was 263 of the 1,700 sales, average price at $2,952,000. Average semi went for 1,764,000, 78 of those traded hands. Average townhome, 1,746,000, 35 of those sold. Then condo towns, we're looking at 1,139,000, 64 trading hands. And then the big market, obviously in Toronto, especially when we're talking about like right downtown, central Toronto, 1,250 sales, and then $863,000 for the average price. Thank you so much for watching. This was the market update for the Greater Toronto Area in February 2022. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest, get into pre-construction, luxury market, get in touch with me. Book a call with me now. Would love to chat with you. We can discuss everything I just went over in this report, how it plays a part of your real estate strategy. So book that call now, gettom.ca. That'll take you right to my calendar, and you can book a one-on-one call with me at any time you like. All right, so those were the market statistics for February 2022 in the Greater Toronto Area. My name's Tom Kustra, a local realtor here with eXp Realty. Want to talk about these market statistics and what they mean for you? Want to just talk about real estate, how I can help you buy, sell, invest, lease, anything you want to do with real estate here in the Greater Toronto Area? Go to gettom.ca and you can book a one-on-one call with me. I'd be happy to chat with you there. Other than that, I'm going to link up a video here, which is going to help you with your home buying process. So are you thinking of buying a home soon? Get the steps, everything you need to know about buying a home in Ontario. It's all going to be right there. So go watch that video and have yourself a fantastic day.
I love it when it feels like this.